5.56 versus 7.62. The age-old debate. The Mac versus PC of the gun world. Many good friendships, nay, entire nations have been torn apart by this debate. There are those who will beat their chest and swear to you that 7.62 is the proper rifle round. And then there are the pragmatic, the rationalists that will pull out ballistic charts and point out that the 5.56 has a flatter trajectory, a more controllable recoil, and that you can carry more ammo. Fortunately for the airsoft world, it's all really the same 6mm, but the debate still runs strong. So when something like this comes out, it's kind of like Apple building a gaming PC. You get where they were coming from, but you can't help but worry that perhaps they took the worst of both worlds. This is Krytac's second iteration at the AR-AK hybrid. They did have their Alpha Series SR47 a couple years back, but that one was pretty limited and we never got a chance to give it a good shakedown. So let's hope they learned from that one and that this 47 SPR-M is worth the hype. Now, before we address the Magwell in the room, let's go over the basic dimensions. The front end of the 47 is the exact same as you'll find on the brand new Mlok SPR. You'll find the same 416mm inner barrel that's great for outdoors and I would say is the longest you'd want to run for CQB. We covered the brand new Mlok rail in the last video and I really do think Krytac did a great job with this rail. It has an aggressive look without being over the top and all that milling makes it decently lightweight. The receiver is stretched out a bit at the Magwell and the total length compared to the SPR is increased by about 3.5 centimeters. The extra metal in the receiver does increase the weight slightly from 2.8 to 2.9 kilograms, but because that weight is centered in the gun, it feels more or less identical to the SPR. Let's take a good look at that Magwell. The first thing you'll immediately notice is the very slanted Magwell lip. Personally, I think they could have done away with the Magwell entirely and just had a flat line leading to the trigger guard like a standard AK. Unlike a standard Magwell, there's barely any flaring at all, but the lip on the magazine does help line it up anyway. There are two different ways to drop the mag on this gun. There is the standard M4 latch that doesn't actually interface with the mag, but instead pushes on the standard AK style mag release. The AK style release works as it should with good resistance, but I hope you immediately see the problem. It's pretty short and it's tucked away inside the Magwell. This is especially tough for gloved hands, plus you can't do cool boy AK reloads with another magazine. I suspect we'll see extended releases soon enough. Back to that AR style release, it's exactly where you'd expect it to be, but due to the design of AK mags, it doesn't really like to drop free, but more on magazine fitment in a moment. Inside the Magwell, you'll find an extended hop-up unit to account for the extra space. Other than the slanted feed ramp, it's essentially a standard hop-up unit. To adjust the hop-up, you pull back on the charging handle and the ejection port opens, pretty standard, but there's sadly no bolt release. The spring is pretty strong and it does have a pretty good sound though. As you're pulling back on that charging handle, you'll notice the Krytac logo laser etched on the top, which I think is actually really cool. It's subtle, but you do notice it every time you shoot, so it's kind of like one of those RS badges on a car's steering wheel. I think it would have been even cooler if it was a 47 specific logo instead of just the standard logo. They put the classic safe semi-auto markings instead of the triangles on the other Tridents, and overall it's more of a classic AR receiver look than the angular Trident one. Looking at build quality, it's everything you'd expect from Krytac with a solid build throughout. Other areas like the selector switch and the trigger will be more or less the same as the SPR, which is to say it's still one of the industry best. Last video I mentioned that the new Krytacs come with the same flip-up iron sights as found on the Vector. It's also worth mentioning that the build quality on these sights is one of the best I've ever seen. They click into place with authority and there's very little play, which is obviously critical for a sight. Even more impressive is the way the post adjusts for windage and elevation. Every click is defined and there's no second guessing how many clicks you've just adjusted. Let's go over mag fitment. This gun comes with a standard metal AK high cap, so let's see how it fits with its own mag. When you clip in the front lip, it feels like that Magwell lip isn't quite aggressive enough and it slips out pretty easily. At first, it seemed like a pretty obvious flaw, but then I realized it could have been on purpose. See, if you're a little too aggressive and jam in that lip too far, that shallow lip allows the mag to pivot and find its correct position. Once the mag is in there, the side-to-side play is, well, average, and forward to back is a little disappointing as well. However, I didn't experience any feeding issues. The good news is there are many AK mags on the market, and we've already found 2 that fit really well. In a future video, we'll be doing a full will it feed test with this gun and a bunch of mags, but for now, these 2 fit great. Starting with the SEMA C105 Bulgarian style mid-cap, which is also offered in a high cap version, the pronounced lip locks in a bit better, and while forward to back play is the same as the stock mag, side to side is much better because of those ribs. The translucent polymer look of this magazine is definitely hit or miss, but I personally think it really suits the look of this gun. Another great fit is the JG Shorty mag, which at the moment we only have in a high cap, but mid caps do exist. It locks in alright like the stock mag, but side to side and forward to back movement is the best we've tried. An added benefit of shorty style mags is it's easier to go prone without hitting the bottom of that mag. Plus, I just think it looks really cool in this gun. Again, if you're looking to buy this gun, we will be releasing a will it feed video with this gun and as many mags as we can get our hands on. And that about sums it up, the Krytac 47 SPR-M. The best part is pricing is more or less the same versus the SPR, so you're not paying more to be an early adopter. What do you guys think? Best of both worlds or bastard child of the worst? As always, thanks for watching, subscribe for regular updates, and we'll catch you on the next one.